Hey everyone, let me tell you, there's nothing more rewarding than truly understanding your feline friend. You know, cats are often misunderstood. People think they're aloof or mysterious, but the truth is they're constantly talking to us. We just need to learn their language. Think of it this way. Every meow, purr, hiss and chirp is a message. It's their way of telling us what they need, how they're feeling, and what's going on in their world. And just like we use different tones of voice to express ourselves, cats use different vocalizations to get their point across. So in this video, we're going to dive deep into the fascinating world of cat communication. We'll decode those meows and purrs, unravel the mysteries behind hisses and growls, and learn how to respond in a way that strengthens your bond and creates a happier, more harmonious home for both of you. Let's get started. All right, let's talk meows. Now, you might think a meow is just a meow, but trust me, there's a whole lot more to it than meets the eye. You see, adult cats rarely meow to each other. It's a sound reserved almost exclusively for communicating with us, their beloved humans. They've learned that we, big, clumsy oafs, don't pick up on their subtle body language cues. So they've adapted and developed this ingenious way of getting our attention. A short, high-pitched meow is often a friendly greeting. It's your cat's way of saying, "Hey there, good to see you." Think of it as their version of a headbutt or a "how's it going?" Now, a more insistent, drawn-out meow usually means business. Your cat might be hungry, thirsty, or need a little help with the litter box situation. And then there's the urgent, almost pleading meow. This one can be tough to hear, but it's important to pay attention. It could signal that your cat is in pain, feeling unwell, or really needs something right away. Maybe they're stuck somewhere, or their water bowl is empty. Whatever it is, it's time to investigate and see how you can help. Remember, each cat is an individual, and their meows can vary in tone and intensity. The key is to pay attention to the context, what's going on in their environment. What were they doing before they meowed? Over time, you'll learn to recognize your own cat's unique vocal vocabulary. Ah, the purr, that rumbling, vibrating sound that's music to any cat lover's ears. It's usually associated with pure contentment, right? Well, that's true, but it's not the whole story. You see, cats also purr when they're stressed, injured, or even in pain. Think of it as a self-soothing mechanism, a way for them to cope with difficult situations. The vibrations from purring can actually have a healing effect, lowering blood pressure and promoting bone growth. So how can you tell the difference between a happy purr and a purr that's masking discomfort? Look at their body language. A content cat will often purr while being petted, kneading their paws or snuggled up next to you. Their eyes will be soft, their ears relaxed, and their tail might even twitch with delight. On the other hand, a cat that's purring out of stress or pain might have dilated pupils, flattened ears, or tense body posture. They might even withdraw or hide. If you notice your cat purring in a situation that seems out of character, it's always best to err on the side of caution and consult with your veterinarian. Now, let's talk about those not-so-subtle sounds, hisses and growls. These are your cat's way of saying back off, their warning signals, letting you or other animals know that they're feeling threatened, scared, or agitated. A hiss is like a sudden burst of air, often accompanied by flattened ears, a twitching tail, and a gaping mouth. It's their way of saying, "I'm feeling threatened and I'm armed and dangerous." Of course, most cats are all bark and no bite, but it's important to respect their boundaries when they're feeling this way. A growl is a deeper, more guttural sound, usually accompanied by a hard stare and flattened ears. It's a more serious warning than a hiss, and it means your cat is feeling extremely threatened and might be ready to defend themselves. The best thing to do when your cat hisses or growls is to give them space. Don't try to force interaction or punish them for vocalizing their feelings. Instead, try to identify what's causing them stress and remove the trigger if possible. Okay, let's talk about those sounds that can really pierce the night, yowls and caterwauls. These are your cat's most dramatic vocalizations, and they're usually reserved for situations that are, well, pretty intense. A yowl is a long, drawn-out meow that often sounds mournful or distressed. It's their way of expressing a strong emotion, whether it's pain, fear, anxiety, or even frustration. Cats might yowl if they're injured, lost, or feeling disoriented. They might also yowl if they're experiencing cognitive decline like dementia, which can be common in senior cats. A caterwaul is a particularly eerie, almost primal sound that's often associated with mating. It's a way for cats to attract a mate or defend their territory. If your cat hasn't been spayed or neutered, you're more likely to hear these love songs, or should I say battle cries, echoing through your house. Yowling and caterwauling can be disturbing, but it's important to remember that your cat is trying to communicate something important. If you hear these sounds, try to figure out what's going on. Are they in pain? Are they lonely? Are they feeling threatened? Once you've identified the cause, you can address it and hopefully restore peace and quiet to your home. Now, let's lighten the mood a bit and talk about those adorable sounds that cats make when they're feeling playful, excited, or maybe just a little bit mischievous. A chirp is a short, bird-like sound that's often used as a greeting or a way to get your attention. It's like their way of saying, "Hey, look at me, I'm over here." Cats might also chirp when they're playing or when they spot something interesting, like a bird outside the window. A trill is similar to a chirp, but it's a bit longer and more melodic. It's often used as a friendly greeting, especially between cats who know and trust each other. You might hear your cat trill when you come home from work or when they're feeling particularly affectionate. And then there's the chattering sound that cats make when they're watching birds or squirrels. You know the one. That rapid-fire clicking sound that's both adorable and a little bit unsettling. It's thought to be a sign of excitement and frustration, as if they're trying to mimic the movements of their prey. These playful vocalizations are a joy to listen to, and they're a reminder that cats are complex creatures with a wide range of emotions. All right, let's talk about those sounds that you never want to hear, snarls and shrieks. These are your cat's most primal vocalizations, reserved for situations that are downright terrifying or painful. A snarl is a deep, guttural sound that's often accompanied by bared teeth, flattened ears, and constricted pupils. It's a way for cats to say, "I'm scared, I'm angry, and I'm ready to fight." You might hear a snarl if your cat is cornered, attacked, or feels like their life is in danger. A shriek is a high-pitched, blood-curdling scream that's usually a response to intense pain or fear. It's a sound that can send chills down your spine, and it's a clear indication that your cat is in distress. Cats might shriek if they're injured, stepped on, or attacked by another animal. If you hear your cat snarl or shriek, it's crucial to approach the situation with extreme caution. Your cat is in a heightened state of arousal, and they might lash out if they feel threatened. The best course of action is to give them space, assess the situation, and contact a veterinarian or animal behaviorist if necessary. Now, we've covered a lot of ground on different cat vocalizations, but here's the thing. You can't rely on sound alone to understand what your cat is trying to tell you. You've got to look at the whole picture, and that means paying attention to their body language too. Think of it like this. Your cat's body is a billboard, and their vocalizations are the flashing neon signs. Together, they paint a complete picture of your cat's emotional state. A meow might mean different things depending on whether their ears are perked up, flattened against their head, or swiveling around. A wagging tail doesn't always mean a happy cat. In fact, a fast, whipping tail is often a sign of agitation or annoyance. And those big dilated pupils, they could mean fear, excitement, or even playfulness. It all depends on the context. So, how do you become fluent in feline body language? Pay attention. Observe your cat in different situations. What do their ears do when they're relaxed? How about when they're hunting a toy mouse? The more you observe, the better you'll become at reading their subtle cues. Just like humans, cats' voices and communication styles can change as they age. Kittens are notorious for their high-pitched meows, which they use to get their mother's attention. As they grow older, their meows typically deepen and become more varied. Senior cats, on the other hand, might start to meow more frequently or loudly, especially if they're experiencing cognitive decline or sensory loss. They might also develop new vocalizations like yowling at night as their sleep-wake cycles change. It's important to pay attention to any sudden changes in your cat's vocalizations, as these can be signs of underlying health issues. For example, increased meowing could indicate hypothyroidism, while a weak or raspy meow might be a sign of a respiratory infection. If you notice any unusual vocalizations or changes in your cat's behavior, it's always best to consult with your veterinarian. They can help you rule out any medical conditions and provide guidance on how to best support your feline friend. Cats are creatures of habit. They thrive on routine and predictability, so it's no surprise that changes in their environment can lead to changes in their vocal behavior. Moving to a new home, introducing a new pet or family member, or even rearranging the furniture can all be stressful for cats. And how do they often express this stress? You guessed it, through their vocalizations. You might notice your cat meowing more frequently, yowling at night, or even hissing and growling at seemingly nothing. They might also become more clingy or withdrawn, and their appetite and litter box habits might change. The key to helping your cat cope with environmental change is to minimize stress and provide plenty of reassurance. Make sure they have a safe space where they can retreat and decompress, like a cozy bed or a high perch. Introduce new experiences gradually and provide plenty of positive reinforcement. And most importantly, be patient. It takes time for cats to adjust to change. With love, understanding, and a little bit of effort, you can help your feline friend navigate these transitions and maintain a strong, loving bond. We've covered a lot of ground today, from meows to purrs to hisses and everything in between. But the most important takeaway is this. When you learn to decode your cat's vocalizations and body language, you open up a whole new world of communication and understanding. You see, cats aren't trying to be difficult or manipulative. They're simply trying to communicate their needs and feelings in the best way they know how. And when you take the time to listen and respond with empathy and compassion, you build a bond that's based on trust, respect, and mutual understanding. So, the next time your cat meows at you, don't just mindlessly fill their food bowl or shoo them away. Take a moment to really observe them. What are they trying to tell you? Are they hungry, lonely, stressed, playful? By paying attention to their vocalizations, body language, and the context of the situation, you can learn to interpret their messages and respond in a way that strengthens your bond. Remember, communication is a two-way street, and when you learn to speak your cat's language, you unlock a whole new level of love, companionship, and joy. So there you have it, folks. Cats may not speak our language, but they sure know how to communicate. From soft purrs of contentment to loud yowls of frustration, every sound a cat makes has meaning. And when you take the time to listen and learn what each vocalization and the body language that goes with it means, you'll discover a whole new level of understanding between you and your furry friend. Whether it's a meow asking for breakfast, a chirp of excitement at the window, or a warning growl when something's not right, your cat is constantly sending you messages. The more attention you give to these sounds and signals, the better you can respond with love, care, and comfort. In doing so, you'll not only meet their needs more effectively, you'll also build a bond that's rooted in trust, empathy, and connection. So next time your cat talks to you, take a moment to really listen. They're not just making noise. They're speaking from the heart. Until next time, keep those tails twitching and those meows coming.